All right. Hey, happy Sunday. What's going on? You have this is the Conversation Show TV live here on Ordinary Media. My chat don't want to work. All right. So what's going on, you guys? Happy Sunday. I'm gonna make sure everything's working on my end, and then we're gonna get started. All right. All right. So what's going on? Hey, Sierra, what's going on? Happy Sunday to you. Welcome to the Conversation Show TV. All right. So I'm going to get right into it because I only have an hour. So hopefully everybody can come on in. Make sure that when you come in, you share. All right. So I have a question. I have a question. Um, this is the question that I'm going to pose. This is for the topic of the show tonight. And the topic of the show is elevation requires separation in a lot of cases, especially nowadays. It definitely requires separation. All right. So here's a question for all you guys who are watching. Hey Karen, is there anyone in your life or any situation in your life that you don't know how to let go of? If you're that person, if you're that person, I'm gonna show you how to do it. All right. Hang tight for me.
Welcome, everybody, to the Common Sense Show TV, featuring your host, Terry Little. Recorded on location in Twin Falls, Idaho. We hope you enjoy the show.
All right, and welcome back to the show. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. Again, for all the platforms that I am going live on right now. I think I'm on my personal Facebook page, um, Periscope, and YouTube at the current time. So thank you guys for joining. Whoever comes in, if you are if you're live with me, go ahead and put hashtag live in the chat. If you are going to catch the replay, if you're watching the replay, just hit hashtag replay, and we're going to keep it moving. All right. So I want to first shout out all of my sponsors: OP Media, Ordinary People Media, Young Black Panthers Network, anyone that supports me in this social media journey. Thank you. I really appreciate you. All right. So we're going to get a little bit of housekeeping done before I get started and get into the content today. Make sure that you do say hello in the chat. Also, do me a favor. Do me a favor. All right. Go ahead and smash that like button for me. Share this out to your people. That way you can follow the algorithm on Facebook. That way when I go live, you can follow. Appreciate you. All right. So, Javante just told me I am live on all pages. That's good. That's good. All right. Also, if you are on Periscope and you're watching me, make sure you're throwing hearts for me. I really do appreciate that. I do have a heart goal of 2 million hearts I want to hit within, whatever time I hit it. All right. So, the topic for tonight is that sometimes in life, elevation requires separation. But we all know that, right? When we're trying to get to a place in our lives, sometimes we have to drop the dead weight. We will allow situations and people to stay in our lives, and we'll never get to a place to where we can be blessed. Hey, Sharon, what's going on? Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate you. All right, so what I'm going to do in tonight's episode is I'm going to give you guys 8 steps, and I hope you guys can see them because I have a different border here, so hopefully you can see them. I'm going to give you guys 8 steps to rid yourself of the baggage so that way you can elevate. Because you do know there are people in your life that cannot go with you. If you are blessed to go somewhere, if God has said, I'm going to take you to this place, if you're going to be a CEO, or if you're going to be an author, or whatever that is that you have set out to be, sometimes people cannot go with you. They really can't go with you. So we're going to get into these 8 steps. So if you are watching, do me a favor. If you're ready for the first step, because I'm going to abound on each of them. It's 8. Excuse me. I'm going to abound on each of them. So if you are ready, please put a 1 in the chat. That way I can go ahead and get started. And so that way we're going to take it step by step and everybody can join right along. Okay. So if you're ready for number 1, put 1 in the chat. And then once that happens, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So, number one, the first thing, let me get to my banners here just so you guys can see that. Okay. All right. Hopefully, you guys can see it. Hopefully. Let me see if can you guys see that? Let me know if you can see it. Because I got a monster delay. There it is. All right. So, number one, you have someone's negativity is rubbing off on you. You ever heard the old saying, birds of a feather flock together, right? That is the problem that most of us land ourselves into. We're running around with people that used to do what you used to do. Thank you, Karen, for that one. That used to, and that is what you are used to, right? And so those people that are negative, all the time got something to say crazy to you, that stuff is starting to rub off, which is not very good for you, because what you don't need in your life, what's up, Chris, is negativity. You don't need people saying, well, you can't do. Earlier this week, I struggled because I was trying to get certain syndication or my podcast going. And I was told that I need to polish up and do some different things. And I was told that you need to do a certain step. I immediately took it as a negative attack against me, and I said, "Well, I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to do it." But I've allowed certain things or people to get in my ear and be like, "You can't do that." So you can't allow someone's negativity to rub off on you. If you got people in your circle who don't mean you no good, they are not trying to be who are not trying to see you in a good place, you got to cut them off. So what we need to do, first of all, it tears down your spirit, and your spirit becomes weak. It really, really does, because this life is already hard enough. And when you have people that you have to now defend yourself or kind of mend yourself because they don't say something crazy or don't tore you down or whatever, those people you have to eliminate from your life. You can't allow them to be or have any kind of place in your life. You can't, because there's no elevation in that. I can promise you. What's up, Jeff? All right. So we're going to go into number two. So Devontae, number two, you guys, real quick. Let me get back into my banners real quick. Number two. All right. There's certain people and situations in your life that you have simply grown apart from. Hey, Nicole, there are certain things in your life that you have simply grown apart from. People, marriages, jobs, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it is, you have simply just said, you know what? I've outgrown you, and I can't do this with you anymore. You have to get to a place to where you say, I can't do this with you anymore. And when you outgrow people, because outgrowing people, and before you know it, before you even think and realize it, you have already outgrown those people. And it's like, man, we used to hang together back in '86. Now, look at me. I'm doing something a little different. I'm doing things totally separate from what I used to do. See, sometimes it's about ridding yourself of that old mindset and that past, right? But you've simply grown apart from that person or that situation. I'm running down the 8 reasons why you got to let these people go. Hey, Shante Lemon can go to the Young Black Panthers join and go live. Thank you. You have to rid yourself of those folks, because it's not working for you. Because elevation sometimes in this life requires separation. Okay. So we're going to go into number 3. If you're ready for number 3, please put a number 3 in the chat, please. And then we'll go ahead and go forward. Number three. We're ready for number 3. Where's my banners? There you are. All right. Number 3. Hey, Chelsea, what's going on? Again, before we get started, make sure that if you are in here watching live, replay, however, please share this broadcast out to your timeline, your feed. If you are on Periscope, please share it with your Twitter feed. Thank you, Devontae. To your Twitter feed. Also, if you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe while you're there. Thank you, Karen, for the 3. I really appreciate that. Number 3 is that you are just simply unhappy with your current circumstance. When we are in our mess, y'all, when we are feeling a certain way about something, or we're kind of stuck in between going forward and quitting, because there's a way, because sometimes we get stuck in the middle and we don't really know whether or not we want to just keep going, and it is sometimes impossible to move forward if you're unhappy. So what you'll have to do, you guys, is that you have to learn happiness for yourself, because sometimes happiness doesn't fall out of a tree. Happiness does not fall out of a tree. Happiness doesn't come to your doorstep unless you hit the Publishers Clearinghouse and then you hit a couple $1 million. That can make you happy, but happiness doesn't come like that. And you have to be okay in your life, because at the moment when you are questioning, doubting, saying, I don't know, and all of that good stuff, that is when trouble comes, because now you're faking the funk. Now you want people to kind of go along, they get along, because now you're just doing something. You're just doing something. And at some point you have to say, I don't want to do this anymore with you. You have to be happy with you. A lot of us struggle with being happy within ourselves. Karen says, and yes, it can bring, let me put it up here. My chat don't want to do right, I tell you. All right, so yeah, I guess it can bring you down and even cause depression. Once you're stuck, it's hard to come out of it. That is true. What's up, Brandon? All you guys on Facebook that are coming through, go ahead and slap some comments. Go ahead and do some emojis as well while you're in there. That's absolutely right, though. The uncertainty. See, a lot of folks live with a lack of faith, and they don't believe that they can get to the next step in this life. They don't believe they can, because some folks believe, I done been down so long, I done been hurt for so long that I just can't do it. I don't see me being blessed. And there are some people like that. There are some folks that think that I can just will myself to the promised land. No, you cannot just will yourself to the promised land. You're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to cut people off. You're going to have to find a level of happiness inside of you to get to that next step in life. It's not just a will thing. It's not going to happen that way. Promise you. Not. All right. So we're going to go on to number 4. So if you are in the chat, please put number 4 in the chat. Thank you guys for those comments. I really appreciate you. All right. Number 4. We're going to number 4. Hey, Ray, what's going on? Number 4. These are the 8 reasons why you should separate yourself from folks, or separate yourself from people that mean you no good. The 8 steps that keep you separate, that you need to do to separate yourself, or the reason why you need to separate. Number 4, your goals and your needs have changed. Thank you, Karen. Your goals and your needs have changed. So what happens is we set out, because, the game is always the game. The end game sometimes changes, but the game is always in the game, right? So the goal is to get to a certain place. But during the process of getting to the promised land or getting to your goals, sometimes the needs change, the goals change, and you have people in your life that fit certain situations for you. Let's be clear that we keep people in our lives because it affects us. We keep people in our lives because they do well for us, right? I keep folks. I used to, not now, but I used to when I was younger, or back early in the game. I used to have folks I hung around just because they did me well. So, for example, I had a certain homeboy I would call up every Friday night because I knew he was a good wingman. I didn't call him any other time. I didn't care, right? But I called him up because he was a good wingman. That's why he was in my life for that reason. He was a good wingman. I had a homegirl in my life. I call her up just to hear her stroke my ego. So let's not pretend that we don't have people in our life like that we just use for certain necessary, certain things in our life. So even in that situation, you have goals, and those needs that you once had, they could change. Your goals and needs have changed. So you need to exercise yourself on people. But once your goals and your needs have changed, then you don't need those people anymore. You need to cut them off. You need to absolutely cut them off when your goals and your needs have changed. Okay? So thank you guys for hanging with me. I really appreciate y'all. We're halfway through. We're halfway through the steps, and then I'm going to take it to another level here. But your goals and your needs have changed. That's number 4. Number 5. When you're ready for number 5, put 5 in the comments for me. And then we're gonna move right along, because number 5 is a big one. Number 5 is a big one. Or we think we can change them, yet they will continue to bring you down before we can bring them up. Thank you for that. That is absolutely the truth. I like Karen. Karen, you're awesome. All right. We think we can change them, yet they will continue to bring you down before we can bring them up, because they can come. Some of them can't come anyway. But number 5. Number five. Okay. The top 8 reasons, we're going through that. And the reason why you need to cut people off and separate yourself, because you're trying to get some elevation in your life. Number 5, fear. Fear is holding you back. Now, I put fear in all caps because we all know that fear is an acronym. Yeah? We all know that fear is an acronym. False evidences appearing real. We hang with people because we keep holding on to people because we're scared to let them go for whatever reason. Because sometimes, you do some stupid stuff in your past and people they hold stuff over your head, and you don't want to let them go, because if you do and you cut them off and say, I'm not doing you no more, they're like, oh yeah? You remember when you did this? I'm going to let everybody know. I'm going to expose you. Sometimes that's one thing people will not let people go because they may hold something against them, which is crazy to me, but people do that. Fear. The fear of being alone. That's the number one thing. People are so afraid to do this alone. Fear holds us from moving forward. You're absolutely correct about that. Absolutely correct. Fear will keep you stagnant. Fear will have you looking like a deer in headlights when it comes to our life. Situations, decisions that we have to make. Someone says, hey, we want you to do this, but you have to do this. Because of that fear, it will keep you all the way stuck looking crazy. I know there have been so many times in my life to where I have allowed fear to just keep me. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to feel a way. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Hopefully nobody can see me. And that is how we get into trouble. Fear. How many of us want to write a book? How many of us want to be a CEO? How many of us want to be a podcaster? How many of us want to be a pastor or a deacon or whatever it is in life that you want to be? And then you get the okay, but fear won't allow. Fear is like, you good right here. Don't you move. Because if you move, the fear will say, see, now you're going to fall right on your face, because fear will keep you all the way down in the dumps, and you won't know whether you're coming or you're going when it comes to this fear. False evidence is things that are not even close to being real will keep you in your stagnant place. Fear will have you dealing with the same folk you dealt with in 86. I know some of you guys who are watching weren't born in 86, but you know what I mean. But fear will have you keep rolling with the same dudes, the same chicks that you know mean you no good. But fear was like, no, I just don't, because I don't want to go and make new friends. I don't want to go and I don't want to go and learn new people. This is something I used to say all the time. When I would go from girlfriend to girlfriend, and I would say, well, you know what? I'll just stay with her because I don't want to learn anybody else. Hey, Fatima, I don't want to learn anybody else. I just want to do this. Let me stay with what's normal. And when we stay with what's normal, excuse me, especially when we talking about relationships, those are what we call soul ties. When we get into a soul tie, that's the thing that keeps people together because they don't want to do anything else. They don't want better for themselves. They just want to stay right here. Why? Because it's comfortable. People don't want to deal with uncomfortability. They don't want to be uncomfortable. Because if I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to do anything. It's like, no, I don't want to get out of bed. No, I'm going to stay right here. No, I don't want to deal with that person. No, because I don't want it. I don't want it. All right? That is number 5. If you, sir or ma'am, if you're ready for number 6, please put number 6 in the comments for me, and we're going to go right along. All you guys, thank you again for joining. Make sure that you are sharing the broadcast out. If you are on YBPN, thank you for joining me over there. OP Media, thank you. Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure you share the broadcast, and make sure that you are pumping those hearts for me. I really appreciate you. You guys are dope. I haven't seen any emojis on Facebook, but it's okay. We're going to keep it moving. All right, number 6. When you're ready for number 6, let me know, and I'm going to go ahead and go forward with that. And if you are on another platform, if I can't see your comments, I will actually answer them when I go and check the other platform. But right now, I don't see any comments flowing, any hearts flowing either. All right, number 6. Number 6 is you catch yourself living in your past. So this is a tight one. This is a tight one because all of us have done this from time to time. When things in our life don't work out the way we want them to, even though we have the best intentions at heart, we will sometimes revert back to what we used to do. Again, I said the whole show is that sometimes normal is what we know. Comfortable is what we know. So when you're doing something and you're stepped out of your box and it's not working out the way you want to, sometimes we will revert right back to what we used to do. When we want to be successful, but it does go back to fear. Exactly. It goes back to fear. You're right about that, Brandy. Let me put this up here so I can see it. Excuse me. It does go back to fear because we don't have enough faith to know, or to enough faith to say, I believe that whatever I'm doing, me stepping outside of my box is going to work for me. That's faith. Exactly. And it goes right back to being fearful. If I can go back to normal, if I can go back to what my past was, because I know when I was in chill mode, I can go here and chill. I didn't have to deal with nobody. I didn't have to answer to nobody. Let me go back to what I know. And what I know is my past. Because of course we don't know our future because we haven't seen it yet. So let me go back. Let me go back because it's easy to go back. It's easy to fall back into being normal. It's easy. But we have to refrain from going back. Catching yourself living in your past is number 6. Okay. Number 6, and the top 8 reasons why you got to cut folk off because elevation is coming. And these 8 things you can't do. Number 7, and Brandy's with me here because this is another faith-based one as well. Number 7, an old grudge is still hurting you. An old grudge is still hurting you. Now, how many of us are still holding on to grudges? How many of us are still like, you know what? I can't deal. Let me tell you a story. My high school back home, and anybody from my high school is watching, love y'all. Let's be honest here. They've been trying to get together and do a reunion for the longest, right? But one of my classmates put up a post on Facebook and said, "We too old for grudges. We should be able to get together and do this whole reunion thing." But I can guarantee you, 80% of the classmates that had a grudge in high school still have it today. Why? I couldn't tell you. They haven't elevated. They haven't grown past anything. I don't know. But people still carry grudges. And the one thing about a grudge, it's just like a clogged artery in your heart. Eventually, it's going to do you no good. If you're still holding a grudge against somebody, something, somebody, your baby daddy, a bad husband, a bad girlfriend, or she cheated on you, bad side chick, whatever. If you are still holding to a grudge, if you are still mad at your mama and your daddy, and you still carrying a grudge, I promise you, if you don't let that go, that will stagnate you for the rest of your life, and you will never get to another place in your life. I promise. What's up, Des? That fear is a beast, ain't it? Fear will have you stagnant. Grudges will have you stagnant. I'm sure that, in life, you're going to have haters. You're going to have people who don't like you no way. So people drum up instant grudges. It ain't even got to be something that happened 5-10 years ago. It's instant grudges. People are like, well, like Dez. I think if Dez is still in here, Dez is the founder CEO of Head Honcho Clothing back home. And I know he got haters like, what? How you? Instant grudges, instant hate. Because I succeeded and you still where you at. But those grudges will keep those folks down. So if you are one of those people and you are still holding on to a grudge, it is best, my dear sir, ma'am, let that grudge go. It doesn't do you any good. And you're holding on to it for what? You can't charge it rent in your head, can you? Let it go. You're holding on to a grudge from the 5th grade. There are people that I know personally that are holding on to grudges from junior high. Because she took her boyfriend in junior high and he took her. What? People in my class who are 40 plus, you're still holding on to grudges from junior high, and it's keeping us to be able to have a nice reunion or anything. There are people that are walking around right now, will go into a grocery store, pass somebody you got a grudge against, and will not speak. Known each other your whole lives, but because of a funky grudge, you won't speak. But what you guys don't know that are listening to me right now, y'all gonna mess around and miss heaven because you got a grudge against somebody. Y'all gonna mess around and miss heaven because you have a grudge against somebody. That is crazy to me. It really is crazy to me. All right. So we're gonna get into our last one, number 8. We're gonna do number 8, and then I'm gonna do a commercial, and then we'll come back and I'm gonna really give it to you raw. Okay. Number 8. You aren't learning anything new. You aren't learning anything new. If you are with someone and they're not, here's something that I always tell my children. That check, and I said it 1,000 times in these lives, check your circle, right? If you become the brightest star in your circle, so Pastor Brian, it is time, sir and ma'am, to change circles. It's about elevation. It's about progression. We will stay stagnant for all the reasons that I gave you because you haven't learned nothing else. 2 + 2 is 4. Always have been, always will be. But who knows the hypotenuse of whatever? Who knows the square root of 47? Who knows that? I haven't learned anything new. Nothing new. But you want to be elevated, but you don't want to learn. Elevation requires separation from these people. And if you are one of these people, you need to clean up this whole situation. Okay? This whole situation, clean it up. You're not learning anything new. You're still holding grudges. You catch yourself living in your past. Your fear is holding you back. Your goals have changed. You're unhappy with your current circumstance. You're growing apart. Simple. And someone's negativity is rubbing off on you. That's the reason why. Let me tell you something real quick before I go on commercial. That's the reason why I hang and run with a bunch of brothers, first of all, that I can learn from, grow from. Ain't none of them negative, none of that. And I'm learning something new every single day. That's how I know elevation is coming. So if you're not running in a pack that's trying to elevate you, guess what, sir, man? Elevation will come, but at a much slower rate than it's supposed to. Let these negative people go out your life and move on. We got places to be. But because of everything I just told you, we're still here. We're still holding on to this nonsense. All right? So those are my 8. I hope you roll those down. All right? I'm going to take a commercial break. I'm going to be right back. All right? Hold tight.
I stay cooler than the Chi-Town breeze, but hyper like I'm at the World Cup overseas. Do rag for waves with me, gotta stay fresh. I never leave home without it like American Express. I'm feeling kinda old school, how about you? If you're feeling how I'm feeling, this is what you do. Throw it up, 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 throw it up. Hey, yeah.
All right, I am back. Thank you guys again for holding on and hanging with me. All right, so here's the truth, okay? Here's the problem, is that everybody wants to be elevated. Everybody wants to go to a different place, but they don't want to do the work in order to get there. Because you're still riding with these people, like I said earlier, that you rode with in the 4th grade. Some of us are still using the same Mac line we did in the 5th grade, and thinking it's still going to work. If you want something better, the term, if you know better, you do better, it's kind of a truth. It's kind of a true thing here. You have to grow, elevate in order to get to a place to where I can say, now I used to do this. Now I'm a CEO. I used to do live streams in my basement. Now I do them in front of an Apple, an iMac. I used to club hop every weekend. Now I give God praise from the pulpit every Sunday. The other day, me and the Brothers of Legacy, well, I don't have any pictures, but my Brothers of Legacy, AD, Dwayne, Pastor Brian, and Travell, they were we have a group text that we have every single day, and we always texting and chatting each other because we have to keep each other accountable. We keep each other prayed up, all of that. So the other day, they had these pictures, old school pictures of where they used to back in their past and how they've elevated from that to now. Travell's the author of 2 or 3 books. Pastor Brian is pastor of the church in Georgia. Brian used to do that. Now he was a former cop in Atlanta. It's all about elevation in this life. It's all about saying, forget my past. I am going to be something that no one has ever thought that I would be. But in order to get there, you got to cut off the people that mean you no good. You have to separate from folk. Because some folks truly have that crab in the barrel mentality. Truly. And they don't want to see you make it. There are folks that do not want to see you make it. And they would rather sabotage and throw a monkey wrench into your growth because they mad. Them people, you have to cut them off. You have to recognize them. Some of us need to cut our grass. The old saying goes, if you cut your grass, you can see the snakes. Some of us need to cut our grass. Some of us have a snowdrift in front. We have a jungle in our yard because we don't want all that fear. I don't want to cut my grass because I know that there are snakes in there. But I'm telling you, sir and ma'am, that if you want to be successful, if you want to elevate, it's going to require you to cut your grass. It's going to require you to cut people all the way out of your life. It's going to require you to do so. I know it's tough. I had to do it. I had to cut some folks off. I got folks, and it's not that I hold grudges, and it's not that it's that in order for me to keep my sanity and my peace, there are some people I had to cut all the way off. But we keep people in our lives because it's easier they're easier to handle. They're easier to handle. I can roll with these folks because all I gotta do is give her a look. All I gotta do is cuss him out one good time, and he's gonna stay in place. The fear of the unknown is gonna keep a lot of people down. When I first started the social media journey 3 years ago, I did not know who I was going to impact, the friendships I was going to make. I didn't know any of that. I just knew that I had to make a change in my life. That is where some of us are right now, this very second, watching this live. Some of us are in a place where I have no idea of where I'm going next in my life. But it's a place to where it makes you think, now I got to do something. Because this isn't life. This ain't life. Being stagnant, sitting in neutral, going, I don't know what I'm going to do, God. I don't know what's next in my life because she broke my heart. He broke my heart. My baby daddy is silly. He don't raise his kids. He won't do whatever. It is not about someone else's action in your life. It's about the action in your own life. If you want to elevate and be successful in this life, you are going to shed some mindsets. You're going to shed some people, and those people have been your family. They have been in your life for years, and you're going to have to cut them off. The fear says, no, you can't. But your success level says you got to. Fear says no. Your success level says, I got to. Dez and all those folks that I know, Pastor Brian, AD who's not here, Travell who's not here, Brian, and Dwayne, they set out to do something else, and they ended up being successes because we had to move forward. We had to shed people. There are still people now, there are still people in our life that we're still holding on to. And you guys know who they are in your life. Here's my question to all of you. Here's my question. Well, you know what? I'm going to ask it in a minute. Hold on one second. Here's my question. Is where you want to go worth these people that you're keeping in your life? Is where you want to go worth it? To keep that person who don't really like you like that, who's going to be negative, who's going to have something to say, the worst of it is to have somebody who's talking behind your back. Them the ones you really want to cut loose and get rid of. Right? But here we are. Is where you want to go more important than holding on to these people that don't want to see you happy? That's my question. Sometimes in life, elevation requires separation. You got to cut some people off, situations, jobs, whatever, you're going to have to cut those people off and keep things moving because you want to elevate in this life. You really do. Right? Well, that's my spiel. I'm going to cut it short because my comments stopped. No emojis are flowing. I'm going to stop right there. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. Again, thank you guys for watching Periscope, Facebook, YBP, OPM. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here. And until next time, next Sunday, or actually tomorrow, not next Sunday, tomorrow, you guys have a great rest of your day. Be blessed. And remember, as you see up in the top right-hand corner there, I always do myself the same way. Forgive yourself, forgive them, and then move on. All right? This is your Common Sense Guru, Terry. I'm out of here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? Peace.